Hey y'all, welcome to Other Realm Studio. I'm Paula. I'm running a little late and I'm still assembling my screen here. But you can see that I'm on Restream.io, which takes my art stream and sends it to 3 different places. I'm currently on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Or I should be, unless something's gotten broken. And there's my chat that should work. Let me scoot this over. And I'm gonna try not to go on too long tonight. Occasionally my spare screen, which is up here at the top, where I keep my OBS screen and my chat screen up there out of the way of my art stuff. Yeah, every now and then it goes dark for no good reason. So I don't even know what's going on with it. I am confused. But it makes it very difficult for me to close out of OBS and to stop streaming. So, isn't that fun? So, yeah, I still need to go back and edit one of my last videos on YouTube. I guess it's on the other places too. But yeah, one of my last videos, my screen, it was a 2-hour, almost a 2-hour stream. And yeah, my screen went dark. I could not get it to turn back on. I couldn't find it. When you go into the the control panel and everything, and I was trying to get it to identify the two screens that I have set up, and it couldn't find it. Although when I tracked my mouse up there, I could still see the arrow. It was very confusing. So I'm not sure what goes on with that. Maybe it's some kind of connection issue. Maybe my monitor's just something tiny is broken in there. So I have all kinds of stuff that I need to be doing, and I have not remembered precisely what it is yet. So I'm gonna do some sketches. So not last night. Good gracious, my brain. Last night I was very tired. That's what went on last night. This past weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, I was at Soda City Comic Con. I was at booth 9, and so I had a really good show. This is the first time I have gotten to take my comic to a Comic Con. So I was really excited about that. I still am excited about that. It is quite a thing. I've been looking forward to that for, years. Years, y'all. So, yeah, I got to debut issue 1 of Soulbound. at the show. I sold a lot of copies. I was really kind of impressed. I didn't run out of copies, but that's because I drastically overpacked. So, over 20 actually. I don't know how good that is for selling at a show, but I'm very pleased. And I reached a lot of readers. I had, I even had a girl come back to my table, which, that in itself is something. Um, yeah, lots of people promise to come back, but, it's difficult. And hello, Slick Rick from YouTube. So I was at Soda City Comic Con in Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah, I don't know how much of a lag there is with the show or with the chat. Oh, that's good. Yeah, also, if any delays can probably kind of be put down to uh, me taking a while to actually look up again. And also me, um, losing my train of thought occasionally. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to actually complete this piece. And I never know what to do with arms. So I kind of have like seamstress dummies going on for a while. While I work out what to do with the arms. Yeah, I don't have my headset set up. But I'd really lose my train of thought then. I gotta have more quiet. So what are you drawing? So let's see. I finally I finally worked out a decent pitch for my comic. So it took talking to, I swear it was like half the people that were at the Comic Con. But finally, practice wins out. Let's see. I think I had this guy's proportions wrong. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I know about Black Cat. I know what she looks like anyway. Yeah, I mean, I'll listen to podcasts and artcasts, but not so much while I'm drawing. Um, yeah, my train of thought just, it derails easily. But it is very, um, I listen to a lot of YouTube and podcasts and stuff that, yeah, I like interviews where, um, they, they really get on a roll and start talking business, and it's just very relaxing, even if it's not something that I'm interested in hearing about. There's just something relaxing about hearing a couple of guys talk about the old days and how things were done. Um, so it actually makes it much easier for me to do like housework and stuff. It does, like, it seriously helps bring my level of concentration to like just the right level that's needed for uh for stuff that I don't need to be keeping my attention on, um or I'll start trying to do other stuff at the same time. It's weird. My brain is odd like that. Yeah, well, the trouble is I have difficulty talking at all, especially about my art and my stories. And it's because, at least as far as I can figure, I'm trying not to psychoanalyze myself, but um, I care, and there's a lot of details and stuff, and so when you care a lot, you've got a lot of details that you want to talk about, and then you start freaking out midway through thinking, oh, great, I'm boring people, whether they're bored or not. But I have to develop some level of being able to talk about my work, or nobody's ever going to hear about it. Oh, yeah, I should probably go back and actually listen to what my different streams as I've gone on, and see if I manage to get more chatty like during flats and stuff. Cause that's like uh, that fun process, like when you're a kid and you're playing around in Microsoft Paint and you just click the bucket and fill it in. that's not so much, composition and uh, remembering proportions and getting bogged down on hands. Hands, my nemesis. But I think I can talk all right while I'm sketching gesture. But I don't know. I'm talking nonsense most of the time, though. uh, yeah, thank you. I think I sound normal, but a lot of people have a comment about the accent. So yeah, I sometimes sometimes I mess with people a little bit and tell them that they're the ones with the accent, which is really funny when I'm the one talking and they're the one in text. Yeah, but it's very tricky to know, you know, um, what kind of voice you have because the way you think your voice sounds is not the way it really sounds to other people. I got this girl's face looking a little bit like a Kardashian now. I'm not sure which one because I don't watch it. I'm in South Carolina, but yeah, some of my family's from South Carolina and some of my family's from Georgia. So I may have a little bit of a blend of both. But my sisters have been known to refer to me as the Yankee. Ah, nice. See, you are the one with the accent. I'm just in here sounding normal. You are being British. Hmm. My little girl listens to a lot of British YouTubers, and she's sort of adopted some phrasing and not. People say she has a British accent, but I don't hear the British accent. I do hear more of the British cadence, the way that the phrasing goes, I guess. Yeah, where the emphasis is. Ah, well, thanks, I guess. Like I said, I just sound normal to me. I am gonna have to look up clothing styles for this period that this guy is from. If I continue on with this one. Oh yeah, that is so. Um, I've noticed something really interesting when actors try to do a southern accent. They range all over from, oh gracious, they hit every state between Georgia and Texas. It's they can't just pick one to be from. They've got to throw in all of um, like every possible regionalism, and it turns out that it sounds like they're from nowhere. They're just goofing off with all the accents. Yeah, there's a Studio Ghibli movie called Porco Rosso. Porco Rosso? Rosso? Um, and they have the American actor, and he hits that character hits every possible American accent, and he's not even the main character. Okay, so I have a commission a for a few gothic or well for a few illustrations for like a gothic series of stories, and I've read one so far. I really enjoyed it. It's got a little bit of that true ghost stories vibe, and a little bit Nancy Drew with the mystery solving. Yeah, just kind of classic, a little spooky, a little dangerous. Um, let's see, I've got this crease too big here, and I it's been a while since I've read like the ghost story stuff and the mysteries and all, but I just realized I've really kind of missed it. So I'm looking forward to reading the other couple stories that I'm supposed to be doing the illustrations for. It's just I have not had time. I was gonna have time today, but I had to use it on sleep. Apparently, Comic Con took it out of me. Let's see. I might select all this and shrink it down a little to get more of each of the figures. Yeah, I don't know if I used to be able to recover better or if I've just always been really bad at gauging how tired I was going to be after something. Oh yeah, it was a really big con. I hardly left my booth. Um, so it was a little hard to gauge exactly how many people were there, but I mean, it was packed. Saturday and Sunday both. Um, there were probably well over 1,000 people. I'm gonna have to look up what the organizers update the stats and everything. I don't like what I've done here. I'll get back to that. But yeah, they had some panels and special guests, and they had the voice actors from, I think it was Batman the Animated Series. It was one of the Batman cartoons, and that was upstairs. So it was this whole VIP experience, and uh, it pulled in a lot of extra. uh, well, at least you haven't asked me to say bless your heart. I did stammer a little bit when I said booth, so it might have come out a little unusually different. Kevin Conroy. You know, it sounds familiar. I did not pay too much attention. There were just so many names. Uh, I couldn't keep track of absolutely everybody who was there, and at some point I just gave up. It may have been Kevin Conroy. I mean, it sounds right. But they had most of the cast. It seemed like a lot. Okay. My perspective is going a little skewed here. Too much curve here. I'm gonna have to get him to close that door. I'm getting random TV noise. Called Soda City Comic Con in Columbia, South Carolina. It kind of gets its name from the abbreviation for Columbia, or I don't know if it's an official abbreviation or not, but it's its nickname. They call it Cola. So then it's Soda City from there. But yeah, it's a good sized city. Columbia is South Carolina's capital. So there's a lot of interesting buildings and history and so forth. Yeah, well, I didn't get to walk around any. I was in the vendor hall, minding my booth. And now I'm never going to say booth again in a normal way because I'm going to be thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. So, yeah, it was a really good show. I've been I've been a vendor at that one ever since they first started. So, it's really come a long way in just a few years. Oh yeah. Yeah, so they made a whole event out of it. It was great. Evidently, it was great. So I did miss out on a lot of stuff. But one thing about staying put in one spot uh, and talking to people as they go by, you get to see so many cosplayers walking by. Like, there's so many. I got to see so many really amazing costumes. Let's see. Let me just select this guy's head and resize it, see if I can do a little better. Nope. Nope. Maybe. Yeah, about like that. I think I had him drawn a little bit skinny. Let's see. Make sure I've got with the resizing, I think I've messed my proportions up a little. Sometimes I do, but that's when I have more of an idea of where I'm starting. If I'm running late and I'm sitting down with zero idea of what I'm putting on the paper, well, on the screen, then I just start scribbling until it looks like something. So all this is really concept work. It's not gonna, it may not be salvageable. So it'll just be an undersketch to determine, the gesture. But see, once I have like the basic idea down, I can pop a new layer on top, do a slightly darker color. Let's see, I usually do a head and a spine, and then I count out, the heads. For the proportions. Yeah, that's heroic proportions for 8 heads. Although this is meant to be a supernatural character, so he could probably stand to be 8 heads tall too. So yeah, when I finally figured out what I'm doing for the pose and the arms and everything, I kind of sketch out like a little ball jointed doll. See, that would, yeah, he would actually be a little bit further behind. So this would come out from his body a bit. His elbow would be here. So yeah, it's an easy way to make a figure more imposing. Is to give them the heroic proportion. Let's see, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's probably got more than 7 going on. Sometimes, let's see, I have a little wooden mannequin around here somewhere. My little girl occasionally takes it off somewhere. But you know, I also use some of the poses. It's really useful for the hands. Just because you're dealing so much with so many just, you know, so many joints and stuff. All those fingers. Oh yeah. Yeah, Clip Studio has the lighting too. So, yikes, guy. Let's back him up a little. Right, so you can find the pose, you can also find the body type and adjust that. And over here in the tool property menu, there's there it is, apply light source, and you can just drag around where you want your shadow to be. There, dramatic uplighting. But I don't really need him for this, not at this point. All I gotta do for now is just basic beginning sketches for just concepts. If I get too involved with my concepts, then I get attached to them, and that's not good for client work. Yeah, so this one's Clip Studio Paint, the EX version, which I went ahead and splurged on that so that I can also do the animation stuff. I'm wanting to learn. I'm wanting to teach myself animation, so I'll get to it someday, eventually. Sleep though, it's eating into my time. Oh yeah. Yeah, the whole pose thing works great. So the way that works is you just drag it over, drop it in, and you get this Oh, gracious. There's a word, and it just now fell out of my head what it is. Is it a matrix? Um, so wherever you click, you can manipulate where it goes. And you can also rotate it around. The shadows don't always stay accurate. I don't know if they fixed that in any of the updates or what. But yeah, you can place him anywhere and anchor him anywhere. In relation to the floor. And you can even spin your character or your reference around to make sure that he's not twisted oddly. Yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I don't like. Yeah, I can drop in more because they're each in a different layer. And all I have to do is select which layer that I'm working with. Well, I don't know, I might have just accidentally lied to you. But yeah, when I click on him, I can select him separately. So I can work on multiple ones at once. Or I guess I could uh, select a layer and then add a new one if I want each figure on a different layer so that I can work with them separately. But yeah, I don't really like the way that Adobe's model has gone with Photoshop. I don't want to pay a subscription fee for something. When you're freelancing, or when your everyday life kind of has not much to do with your art, you're not making that money back on your subscription every month or every year or whatever. So I really appreciate Clip Studio because I own it and they update it. And I don't have to keep paying it out every month and stressing out, essentially leasing software. I I just hate the leasing model. I'm not happy. Yeah, a lot of people are using uh, the older Photoshop versions. Okay, I don't need these guys on here, so I'm gonna close that out and delete them. Goodbye, guys. Thank you for modeling for me. Snap. Yeah, I think that a lot of the updates after a certain point, it's just rearranging the features that are there and occasionally breaking things that used to work fine just to put them behind a paywall. I mean, it's kind of a cynical way to look at things, but there's not really another explanation. Let's see. actually kind of like some of these creases that I did in the clothes. It's just not all of them. I might actually keep this one around for reference. Well, I gotta go soon. It's getting a little late. And then I start thinking about, oh, it's getting late, and then I start yawning uncontrollably, and, you know, it's all downhill from here. But it was nice talking to you, Rick. So, stop on by again whenever you feel like it. I usually do the stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Not Wednesdays. I am losing it. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So no weekends and no Wednesdays because, you know, other obligations. Alright, thanks. You can subscribe to my channel. I kind of wish I just had a short thing to tell you that it is. And check out my website. It's www.otherrealmstudio.com. And it's where you can see my nicer, more completed art and my oh yeah, I was wondering if you'd come by from there. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, I have a newsletter and my comic is out. Let me see. I've finally worked out a quick pitch for the comic at this last Comic Con I was at because I got so much practice. Let me see if I can remember what on earth it was I said or that I started saying. It is. The name is Soulbound, and it's about a pragmatic med student named Becca who has enough of her own problems, but she gets thrown through a portal to another realm of magic, myth, monsters, and mayhem. I'm pretty sure that was about right. I don't need to forget it. I did have some news. I'm actually gonna get to go do a book signing or a comic signing at a local comic shop called Richard's Comics. And yeah, my husband went and talked to him at the show, and then he came back and he didn't have like the information that I wanted to hear about the whole event, so I went and talked to him and I forgot everything I wanted to ask, but evidently it's real and I'm gonna go do a signing sometime in October. And I guess I better do a more formal announcement on my newsletter and stuff. It was really kind of funny that there was a guy who came up and I talked to him about my comic. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I am gradually getting better at this. Goodness knows I'm trying to practice. should remember what I mean by this. Oh goodness. Oh, there went my brain. Oh yeah. So there's this one guy, and he was talking to me about my comic, and he started to sign up for the newsletter, and he's like, oh, by the way, how often do you actually send out the newsletter? And I'm like, oh, I'm real slack about it. About once a month. And he's like, oh, good. And so he actually signed up. It was, okay. Yeah, because all the advice is, you know, send more frequently than once a week, and I can't do it. I have to have like real news going on before I actually remember to send it out. I'm getting better though. But anyway, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate, well, I was going to say the visit, but I guess it's sort of a visit. And I'll see you in the other realm. Good night.